الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا أحمده سبحانه وتعالى وأشكره وهو أهل وثان وأشهد أن لا إله إلا هو وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ومصطفى اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. We thank Allah Almighty that He has allowed us to awaken this day, the Eid, the holy day of the week, the holiest day of the week, Yom Jumah. It is a divine law that has been in motion for 1,500 centuries, and yet most of mankind take it lightly. If the people knew the blessings of attending such a gathering on Friday, because it is a order, and anyone who is following any order of Allah Almighty, that is powerful. Most people are not following His orders, and most of humanity, 99% of humanity, is lost because they have taken lightly their Lord's message. And so as a result, we suffer from east to west, north to south, for that reason only, that we have taken Allah Almighty to be a joke, and we have taken Shaitan to be our guide. Nothing, absolutely nothing short of death should stop us from such a gathering if we knew the blessings that were raining on those who are entering such a covenant with their Lord on Friday, from east to west, north to south. Allah says in the criterion, "Blessed is he who sent down the criterion to his servant, that it may be an admonition to all creatures. He to whom belongs dominion of the heavens and the earth. No son has he begotten, nor has he a partner in his dominion. It is he who created all things and ordered them in due proportions. Yet have they taken besides him gods that can create nothing, but are themselves created, that have no control of hurt or good to themselves, nor can they control death, nor life, nor resurrection." SubhanAllah, Allah speaks the truth. It is something that especially we as men have to take very, very seriously, because Allah Almighty has given the men a responsibility that He did not give to females, to women. Men are the protectors and maintainers of their families, of their communities. And when a man loses and abuses that favor that Allah Almighty has given him, it leaves the society open for Shaitan to come into your household, to come into the community, to come on your jobs, to come wherever you are, and to cause confusion and disruption. His only goal is to divide and conquer. When Adam and Eve fell from felicity, Adam was calling out to his Lord and Eve was calling out to Adam. That meant that Allah Almighty created Adam as a means of the shepherd over the sheep. Man has been created to be the shepherd over the sheep, because when our families are going astray and the wolves are devouring them, it's because the maintainer, the protector and the provider and the maintainer is not standing up and doing what he has been created to do. And so the society is falling. We have found that there are more deviant relationships, men on men and women on women. This is crazy, because when the men lose and lose their natural affections, because they are connected to their Lord, everything goes astray. Everything goes haywire. Allah is holding us so much responsibility, we cannot believe it. You can't believe it. We don't have the luxury of being a disobedient servant. We don't have the luxury of playing in the society and allowing Shaitan to get us on wine, women, and song, and being high and being crazy and being drunk and being disobedient. We don't have that kind of luxury, and that shouldn't even be a luxury. The men are responsible for the chaos in the society, especially those who say that we are servants of Allah Almighty, that we are true servants of Allah Almighty. If our families do not have any other choice, if we're only giving them a choice of accepting Shaitan as a guide, that is on us. But if we give them the ability to choose right from wrong, and that we're acting in the right way according to what Allah Almighty has sent to us to our prophets, and we've been obedient servants to apply that on ourselves, if we're on the straight way and our families or anyone else do not want to be on the straight way, that is their choice. But you have to give them a choice that leads to Allah. And if they choose not to choose that choice, then it's not on you. But if you're not giving them the choice to choose Allah Almighty, then it is on the man. It is on the man. Women have a very, very important role in that all life comes through a woman. She is their first teacher. But if she's going to teach the children something that man has not taught her, then there's going to be chaos. And that's why we see so many children raising children in our society, and we see so much drugs and so much corruption in our society, because the man is not in the household. The man, if he's in the household, he's not connected to his Lord. And that is not the natural order of things. We are out of order. Don't you know that's what cancer is? Cancer is our rebellious cells. Disease are rebellious cells. Dis-ease. Allah says, verily, with every difficulty, there is relief. When you have finished your immediate task, still labor hard and turn all your attention to Allah Almighty. Nothing should distract us from being obedient servants to Allah. Allah is going to test us. Allah says, don't you think you're not going to be tested? You're just going to say you believe and not be tested? Marriage is half of the faith. And the fear of Allah is the other half. That means that that's a very, very big part of our learning and gaining our iman in being who Allah Almighty has created us to be, in being the maintainer and protector over those who fall under our support. This is not going to change until the men stand up. Until the men stand up and be righteous men, the families and the communities are going to be down. When Allah says that marriage is half of your faith, and there's no greater test than in a marriage. Marriage is a great test. Because Shaitan does not want a marriage. Because long as there is a man and a woman, and the man is following his Lord, and the woman is supporting her man and following their Lord, that is the natural order of things. But if Shaitan is able to distract her and able to distract him, then what happens to the children in the society? Then they begin to lose their morals. Then they begin to think that they are grown and they do things that they think grown people are supposed to do. And that's why we find a lot of them, a lot of babies raising babies. Grandmother at 30 years old. Because of 13 and 14-year-olds, because the father and mother and father were not together under Allah Almighty, obeying the dictates of Allah Almighty through the prophets and through the message. That's not in the home. So we left now to be reared by ignorance in the streets. So what is the point of going into a mosque or a church or synagogue if we can't address the ills that are causing our society to be diseased without ease and rebellion? There is no divine support when we are not in accordance with Allah Almighty. When our bodies are not healthy, if we're feeding our bodies things that are unhealthy for ourselves become ill because we're responsible for knowing what to put in our mouths and our bodies. Then it reflects through our cells and disease and dysfunctions. Whose fault is that? We don't understand that we don't understand. And this sickness continues to permeate our families and our community and our society. Allah does not support that. And it's always been few. You see some places, their places of worship have thousands of worshipers. They're not talking about anything. The energy of that and the energy of that and talking nonsense. And the people want that because they want to continue to be able to be disobedient servants to Allah Almighty. Then when we're hitting the core of what a spiritual being is, no one is interested. I find that very odd. No one is really interested in their true beings. Because that's all religion is supposed to address. That's all the 124,000 prophets came to address. The real being. Not the fake being. Not our body is just a representative of Shaitan, of our ego. Then that part of us that's supposed to make that submit. And that's why Allah has given us rules and regulations to begin to train our mind and body to submit to that part of us that's connected to Allah Almighty. This world is not connected to Allah. But our test is that Allah has sent us in this world and He's saying, okay, let me see who is going to keep their promise to me. And so He tests us. He's saying with every difficulty, there's relief. For everything that's difficult in our lives, there's a relief. But we're not seeking refuge in Allah Almighty for the relief. We're seeking refuge in Shaitan for the relief. No relief is coming. There's no relief when there's unbelief. No relief. And that's how we live. No one should have to remind us. Allah should never have to send 124,000 prophets to remind us. Then send inheritors to and remind us. We should all be believers. This should be like paradise on earth. It shows how tricked we have been. How we've been beat down. We know that our community is not what it should be. We know that our families are not what it should be. We know the nation is not what it should be. Because we ourselves are not what we should be. Allah holds us responsible. And Allah Almighty always sends guidance if we forget. Because